Hey gameheads! These related games are great for a lot of reasons. Their graphics aren't too demanding, allowing for developers to focus on fun gameplay, and they are quite small in size, allowing for you to gather a lot of them. So we'll be talking today about 10 pixel mobile games you probably haven't heard of. Just to be clear, I won't be adding games like Dead Cells, Stardew Valley, Evoland 2 and other popular titles because I believe those ones have been done much justice to. Okay, let's continue, shall we? Starting the list with a well-received shooter, Ailment Space Standoff. To be honest, my first impression of this game was more or less that it was heavily inspired by the Dead Space genre. You wake up in a massive spaceship with all your crewmates dead, turned into flesh-eating zombies, and you have to fight to survive. Yeah, pretty much the premise of Dead Space. But the game sets itself apart with an interesting premise. The zombies actually shoot back. You can also bring NPCs along while exploring, which if you're a scary cat like me, kind of helps a lot. With emphasis on shooting action, story-driven exploration, challenging boss fights, and quirky NPCs, it's an engaging award-winning title. Next up is Tomb of the Max. Yeah, I'm not a fan of games that are often advertised on YouTube and other in-game ads because they lie quite a lot. But Tomb of the Max is one of the few exceptions. You may have come across it a few times because of pop-up ads, and it's exactly as advertised. You traverse a maze like temple, trying to escape, avoiding traps, collecting coins and power-ups. It's simple, short, but quite addictive, with a right amount of progressive difficulty in an infinite, randomly generated vertical labyrinth. Tomb of the Max is a homage to the retro arcade genre, and it does it quite well. It's obviously available on all platforms, playable free with 55 MB of storage cost. Next up is Sparklite, a beautiful roguelike with an interesting story and world lore, made by the same guys that brought you Evoland 2 and Dead Cells to mobile. So I was quite hyped when it was released a little while back, but for some reason I just couldn't get into the game. The controls were probably the biggest issue I had then. Anyways, the story follows a young girl who is trying to find the Sparklite, a source of power which once gave life to the planet. Corrupted and sought out for by an evil corporation, your job is to find it before they do. Using the power of the Sparklite, you battle enemies, monsters and giant robots in the procedurally generated world of Geodia, finding inhabitants, getting stronger with each run, all to save the environment. I'm a huge fan for roguelike because they are often well done, and Sparklite seems to be no different. Just didn't click with me. It's paid, available on all mobile devices, and around 96 MB in size. Next up is Metaphysics, quite a simple one on the list. You fight a number of procedurally spawned enemies which you must defeat and not die in order to clear the level. Everything about this game just screams simple, with familiar controls and arcade platform gameplay. This isn't a liability, as the game does bring a variety of enemies, locations and weapons to mix things up, along with multiple playable characters. There isn't much to say about the game because it's pretty simple. Metaphysics is playable offline and in all mobile devices, and it's around 46 MB in size, and did I mention it's also free? Next up is Prize Fighter, an old school boxing game that looks really well made. The fighting mechanics is the most interesting factor to me because it looks simple yet intricate. Dodge and evade, then land well-timed blows against your opponents to chip away at their health and eventually win the match. There is a career system that has been promised to be deeper and better than the prequel, with character creation, a boxing managerial mechanic and more. It's a really promising sequel that justifiably expands on the series. It's available on mobile devices, it's offline free and around 39 MB in size. Wow, this list has low megabyte games. Next up is The Common Zombie Defense, arguably one of the best zombie games on mobile. This challenging yet satisfying roguelike has gained quite a following with a nearly perfect rating. The premise is simple. How many days can you survive a never-ending wave of zombies? With each successful day, you get to buy new better weapons, barricades, and traps, upgrade your gear, and prepare for the next, more difficult wave. The controls are simple, and the zombie bashing quite satisfying, but it also needs a tactful approach, induced by the fact that your inevitable death resets your progress. Its hardcore yet enticing nature, mixed up with the amount of dumb, fun-looking gear you can unlock and use, makes it a classic. The upcoming Zombie Defender is available on all mobile devices, is free, and is around 39 MB in size. Next up is Nameless Cat, an action puzzle platformer that sees you playing as a cat, traversing a strange yet dangerous place, all to get back to your owner. Solve puzzles, defeat monsters, engage NPCs, and gradually unravel this dreamlike world with peculiar abilities. It has a heartwarming premise backed up with a challenging platform gameplay, good story, lovely music, and peculiar boss fights. It's literally a game about a badass cat doing everything to get back to his owner, so I don't see anything that could make it more perfect. Nameless Cat is free, available on all mobile devices. It's offline as well, and it's quite tiny in size, 46 MB to be exact. Next up is Candies and Curses, a game that I have talked about previously. It follows a little girl named Molly Pop exploring a haunted castle, fighting off ghosts with a magical flashlight and ghostly pops, with the intention of defeating the Phantom King in order to escape. The first interesting detail is the flashy colors and cute display, but it's balanced with equally challenging gameplay, which after a level you get to choose from a set of candies and curses that provide permanent power-ups throughout your run. Did I mention it's also a roguelike? So that's that. Candies and Curses is available on all mobile devices, is free, and is around 57 MB in size. Next up is Tales of the Neon Sea, a cyberpunk detective adventure. Yep, that's a thing, and it sounds really good. You play as a washed-up detective whose new murder case is about to break his peaceful life. As he dives deeper, he begins to uncover plans of a robot rebellion, as well as signs of a semi-mechanical demigod seemingly controlling his fate. If you're into mystery games, cyberpunk aesthetics, and thought-provoking beautiful worlds, you have to check this one out. Tales of the Neon Sea is available on all devices and is paid, and it's kind of available on only TapTap at the moment. Next up is Super Mombo Quest, the incredibly difficult position platformer that sees you traversing multiple worlds and fighting different enemies in order to get the perfect score. Its colorful premise may seem inviting, but it's a Metroidvania at the core, so it's naturally difficult to learn and master. But for fans or would-be fans, it's one hell of a ride. Can you clear all the levels and defeat the fearsome King of Nightmares? Well, I don't know. Go check it out cause it's available on all mobile devices, it's free and controller supported, so at an added bonus. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the list of puzzle games. Check out other games on the screen such as the one that's titled Why the Hell Is There Netflix Gaming? Another pretty interesting list. As usual, hit that like button and subscribe if you are still watching this cause you obviously enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. I'm out though!